Bears. He is my friend Mike North. He joins us now here on the program. How you doing, brother?
Do we have an echo? I hope not.
No, we do
All
not.
Right. All right. Beautiful. We're off to a good start already. But the echo, I was on my knees praying, just saying, please, dear Lord, no echo. And we got it. I want to thank my wife for ordering the headphones and everything. They come through this place called Amazon. The next thing you know, it's at the door. It's amazing, you know. Anyway, I got to tell you, yesterday they held a press conference in Chicago to say nothing. In fact, to take 2 steps back, to say now we're going to start focusing on Indiana when they've already talked about Indiana for almost 2 years. And here on this show, we've been talking about it, and Dan's been kidding me about it for the last 6 months. So here's what I got. What I've said all along. They're going to end up in Arlington. The fact that they have to go through toxology reports, they got cancer-causing agents in that area. It's been a bad area for years. Nobody builds there. And you know what? They're going to build an entertainment center. All this BS they said back in the 90s. Nobody in Chicago will drive to Hammond for an entertainment center. The stadium's going to be built for 10 games a year. And if you think people on a Wednesday night are going to go to Gibson's in Hammond Steakhouse, you're out of your mind. Okay? So Kevin Warren, and Dan was right on it, which I love, a good introduction. He was right on. Kevin Warren, to me, has no feel. And George McCaskey is just as bad, but I've been battling with this family since 92. I went to war with them at the beginning. And here's my deal. He says, well, Kevin says once you see the new stadium, Bear fans will forget about all that. No, they won't forget about the extra hour-long drive. And it's about the culture and the tradition of the Chicago Bears, where Illinois is even mentioned in the song. This man doesn't care a damn where they play. He has fumbled this thing tremendously. They're trying to blame the state. That's BS. Because if I inherited an $8 million team or $8 billion team, I'd pay $1 out of every 10 to build in Arlington Heights where there's 5 million people. So yesterday was a joke, and everybody's saying now, guess what? There is no focus on anything. They said, we're going to take our time. Yet they said they're in a hurry. It's a nightmare, folks. And a brave, and this is a little sidebar. While they're saying they're leaning towards Indiana, Roger Goodell met with Illinois lawmakers today, ladies and gentlemen. Today. Because even Roger Goodell knows the Bears leaving Illinois, you can dress it up any way you want. And being called Chicago and Hammond just won't fly. Who remembers that Pontiac had a Super Bowl? Who remembers that? Who even cares? The Lions were doomed there for 27 years, and if the Bears go there, the same thing will happen.
You're not putting a Super Bowl in Hammond, Indiana. I'm sorry, I don't care what people think. They're not putting a Super Bowl in Hammond. What'd you make of George McCaskey saying, hey, wherever we play, we're going to always be the Chicago Bears?
Well, Mayor Daley, the first Mayor Daley, and I knew both men, but the great one, Mayor Daley one, told George Halas back in the day, you'll never be called the Chicago Bears. If at the time he wanted to move to Arlington. I think the thing that angers fans is that George McCaskey is quoting Kevin Warren saying, Kevin says it's going to be fine and this and that. Wait a minute. You've been here your whole life. You went to high school in Niles, Illinois. And you think 75 to 80% of the Bear fans, Mr. McCaskey, are going to be happy with this? They're going to be absolutely pissed about it. You're going to end up hurting your franchise. My wife, God bless her, brilliant businesswoman, wouldn't be here without her. Period. She said it's a good deal for the owners, but on every other level, you're the Chicago Bears, it's a bad deal. Every other level.
Where's the mayor in this for Chicago? Where's
he's getting ready to be voted out in about 200 days. And that's another thing. The mayoral candidates that are running for mayor of Chicago and the governors, the people should state, where they are with the Chicago Bears. If I was running for mayor, I would work all my magics, anything I could to get them to stay in Illinois or in Chicago, period. I would never even consider Indiana, and I think McCaskey's in the same boat. I think at the end of the day, he can't pull the trigger on Indiana.
Mike, how important is the franchise to the city? Is it still as important as it was back in the day, like 60s, 70s, 80s,
Oh,
90s?
come on, yeah.
Is it still
They're
like
still
that
king. The Bulls won 6 championships, but the Bears are king. That's it. Like most NFL teams. We don't want to lose. And we don't want to lose
over the Cubs. Over the Cubs.
Oh, yeah. Remember, we're a 2 baseball team town.
Yep.
So the fan bases are split. We're not. Now, my ideal deal is if they move, then another team comes here eventually to Chicago. Because you gave up the whole state. And I don't think the NFL is interested in having Chicago without a team. And in an area where it's accessible. I mean, where they're going's a nightmare, folks. Watch Cape Fear with Robert De Niro. If you remember the scene where he gets in the fight,
I've been
with
there.
The 3 guys. If you go the wrong way, you might end up joining a gang. I'm serious. It's a bad area.
It's like West St. Louis. It's like, I mean, it's East St. Louis, right? It's like that. I mean, it really is.
I'm just happy there's no echo. I've never been happy. Outside of my wedding day, I'm being born. No echo.
There you go, Mike. I love it here. Mike, how do you look at what the governor has done now with this thing? Where's his position in keeping the Bears there?
It will come to fruition at the end of the day. They'll call special legislative deal like they always do, and they'll get it done.
What do they call Trump?
Oh, listen, I wish he owned the team. I wish he owned the Bears. We'd be building in Arlington. We'd have now that's where you build a bear town, where you have a Gibson Steakhouse, where you have movie theaters, where you have all sorts of things going on, and that big stadium where you can have concerts, where there's actually 5 million people. You don't take a slow boat to Hammond, Indiana. You just don't do it.
Hey, you and I, I think because
are handsome.
Wait, of course, by the way, and plus we're Italian.
Of course.
What happens to Soldier Field?
Listen, you said the right thing too. You're hot. Giving you 2 compliments. I don't think I've done that since we started the show. We'd sit anywhere and watch the Bears. I watched games at Wrigley Field. It was heaven on earth. I didn't care if there was a video screen. I didn't give a damn. I had the time of my life. And then the Soldier Field. I mean, just to take the L to Wrigley Field and get off and go see the Chicago Bears play pro football. That's an experience everybody will lose. You got to get on the expressway. You got to get off at the ramp, and then you got to take it, or you'll take a train where you'll be 5 miles from town. Okay, it boggles my mind, Danny. That's all I'm going to tell you. The whole thing boggles my mind.
What do you make of the Bears having interest in J.J. McCarthy as a potential backup for Caleb Williams? Looks like the Vikings are shopping him.
Well, I'm going to watch Bajan perform for the Bears. Him and Caleb get along pretty good. You know, people watch preseason football. People bet it and win. I've had years where I won. But they also watch it for people out there. I think people that watch their teams during preseason, they're watching for different position players. Who's going to be. So tonight I'm looking at our defensive secondary, or when they play, I'm looking at our defensive secondary. I'm looking at our defensive line, and I'm looking at Bajan, the quarterback, because I think he's a good quarterback. I think he fits Ben's system. He's a scrambler. So in the first half tonight, first quarter, they're plus 120 to have the lead. And I know that Cleveland they want to get off the good shot too, but I those are the things I'm watching for the Bears.
So 16.8 million people watched Jalen Hurts throw an interception in practice. Now, wait, Mike, let me set this up for you. I think it's the stupidest shit of all time as well.
Allen Iverson does too in practice.
Hey, it's 1,000 throws that you make in a camp, right?
Yeah,
it's 1,000
it happens
throws
all the time.
All right. Why is it where everybody is watching what this kid does? And you've got people like Clay Travis. And I will say this, and here's my position. You tell me if you think I'm wrong.
All right.
I say this. You know people are going to make crazy-ass narratives.
Yeah.
They were trying to accentuate Quinyon Mitchell getting an interception. And I said it 2 days ago. Vic Fangio had made a comment that the guy's a virgin still in the regular season on getting picks. He punted the ball. He was excited. I thought the Eagle PR people were doing that. But you're going to get a portion of the country that's going to go, guy's throwing picks. This is what this guy is. He's not. Why do people – look, Josh Allen throws an interception. It gets about 90,000 views. Hurts throws a pick. It gets almost 20,000 views.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I actually like all the Eagle stuff. I really do. I come from the 85 Bear nonsense where every player was a star. I really like that the Eagles are getting this attention. I think they've been an excellent franchise. I really do. And I think that Jalen Hurts, I think, carries a lot of weight now with not only that team, but with the fan base. I don't hear.
You think he's one of the faces of the league?
Yes. I think he's the face of the Eagles. Okay. And I don't hear a lot of Eagle fans blasting him. I think they know his record. They know where he's been, where they were before, and they appreciate him. I think it's more of a national thing, although I'm one of the national guys because I'm not from Philly who loves the kid because he grows up. He's an underdog. I love underdogs. That's what I was. That's what I think a guy like you were. And I see him perform at the highest level with not the greatest tools. And those are the type of guys you like. The guy's a grinder, man. The guy's a grinder. He's got to, I don't know if he's not afraid to run now. He wants to stay healthy. It's a 17-game season. I think he's got to run more. I'd like to see a little more of that. But I have full faith in him, and he makes me want to watch the Philadelphia Eagles. They're a big story. Dallas isn't the only taste in town in that division. I think people, here we go again. See, they got Lamb. They got this guy. Enough is enough. I practice. I've been hearing this since 92. Enough. Dallas. I've been since Bob Lilly. I've had it.
What do you make of Dak? What's your take on Dak?
The guy throws a nice football. All right, but if I got to get to Omaha, I end up in Lincoln for no reason. I don't know why I'm there. Sooner or later, I'm not making it to Omaha. It's going to be a flat tire. We're going to get run off the road. And, and everyone go, but like, it couldn't be him. Not the driver. It couldn't be Dak. Sooner or later, the rubber's got to meet the road.
Oh, my God. That's a great one there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Bears defense after losing two big role players?
Worried. The show's on fire today. I love this show, man, because I'm not echoing. Everything's good. I couldn't sleep. But the Bears lost 19 interceptions from their team last year.
Wow.
They all were individually good, but they didn't have gaudy. One guy had 8 interceptions. Another guy had 5, and a bunch of got 2, 3. They were great as a unit. Now they're all gone. And then you just had an injury to Kobe Bryant. And somebody, Brad Biggs, who's been covering the Bears for 2 decades, for Christ's sake. Nobody should be allowed to cover it that long, but Brad's figured it out. He's there for 22 years. He said that if a safety is going to determine the Bears season, then I said, why'd you sign him? If signing the safety shouldn't matter, why'd you bother to sign the guy? That's all.
Who's the best Bears beat reporter?
I want to find out what was so funny.
Okay, well, because Biggs,
No, I love Biggsy.
No.
I've known Biggsy since I started covering sports.
I know when well, like in '96, it was very readable. I go to sleep a little bit now. I don't know. And you tell me, who do you think is the best beat writer for the Bears right now in Chicago?
You want the truth. You want the truth. You listen to Big Sills.
Hey.
You listen to the Odds Couple with Carmen and North. You listen. Look. There's a lot of slant now. I mean, look, you can't get stories. Shanahan, 11 days. Now the story's gone away.
Yep.
Yeah, Diana Rossini. I don't know what's going there. She's probably doing in a chorus line in Vegas. I don't know what happened to her.
Chorus line.
I have no idea what's going on with her. And then I see the other ones. I don't know. I got to tell you, if I'm going to read about the Bears, I make my own conclusions. I stopped a long time ago trusting anybody that works out of Alice.
Okay, wait. Paul Sullivan. What do you make of him?
He's more of a Cub guy.
More of a Cub guy?
Yeah. Sully's more of a Cub guy.
Okay.
Sully, I've known Sully for a long time, man. Long time. Yeah. I like him. He's been with the Tribune forever.
How about Steve Greenberg?
I read him.
Okay.
Who's feeding you all this?
No, I know Chicago, dude. I told you this. I do.
Because I know all those guys. I read them all.
How about John Greenberg?
John, I see him on Twitter. It's okay. I'm good with everybody. You know what? I turned into Mother Teresa. I went from I'm very genteel. I heard that the other day. I wanted to fit it in. Genteel.
The gentle. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm just happy we have no echo. I feel like I won the lottery.
I know. No, you won the lottery here. I'm very excited myself here with this. All right. I'm going to throw a couple NFL teams.
I like when you do that. It puts me to work.
What do you think the odds the Eagles are getting to the Final Four in the NFC?
Which are?
You tell me.
Oh.
Who do you think the Final Four teams will be this year?
You put it that way? Cincinnati and the Chargers are out.
No. NFC first.
NFC first. I'm going with the Eagles, and I think I'm going to go with the Packers.
Okay. The other two, Rams?
No.
No.
You know what? I think Stafford might have a little, he's not getting any younger.
How about the 49ers?
Oh, I love that team. The problem is McCaffrey gets hurt every other year, so I'm holding my breath. Yeah, the best team I ever saw, I mean, what they had was with Deebo Samuel and those guys about 3-4 years ago. Dude, they looked unbeatable. And Mike, they didn't get it done.
Mike, the best football team I ever played against in my entire life
was the 85 Bears. I know.
Yeah. I wasn't in the league then. I played against the 87 Bears.
Yeah, wow.
But the team I played against that year was the 87 49ers.
Oh, I love them.
Dude, they had backups on that team. Their backups, their second. They were so deep. That was an era of football where guys couldn't move around. And theoretically, the only guy I think missing off that 85 team was Wilbur Marshall, right? Marshall went to Washington.
He went to Washington. They won it all.
Yeah.
How do you like that? The guy goes there, plays a different system. That guy there, for about 3 years, he was better than Lawrence Taylor as an outside linebacker.
What a hitter, man.
What a complete maniac and an assassin. As good as Lawrence Taylor for about 2-3 years.
Who do you think the best player on that 85 Bears was?
Oh, I loved them all. First of all, I knew a lot of them.
Now, really, and Buddy Ryan built both that Gang Green and that 85.
It was such a great team that you could listen to this. How many I could state a case for at least 8 of those players being the best guys on the team, on the defensive team. Dan Hampton could state a case, one of the best in the Hall of Fame. Steve McMichael, who made Pro Bowls.
Hunter Sacks.
Yeah, Gary Fensick. All three Bear linebackers, Otis Wilson, who's a great friend of mine, a complete, utter assassin, Wilbur Marshall, Mike Singletary. You could state a case for all those guys, but if I had to state one. Who?
Don't forget Dent.
Oh, Richard Dent. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. I go with Wilbur Marshall for the 85 season.
Wilbur Marshall. Wow.
For the defense.
I played against him in college when he was at.
My God.
Listen to this. So we were young. When this happened.
Yeah.
We win the national title. They kicked the shit out of us that year, 28-3.
He wanted to kill you too.
Wait a second. 28-3. Bernie threw 5 picks in the game.
Oh.
And we were like this. Holy cow, man. We went on to win 11 games in a row. We beat an upset Nebraska 31-30 in the Orange Bowl, and we won the national title. Florida kicked our ass. In that game, Wilbur Marshall was everywhere.
Lunatic.
So get this. And by the way, he's from like Jupiter, Florida.
Yeah.
And he's a legend in Florida. He comes walking, or Heisman comes walking off the field. I looked at him and I go, hey, what did Wilbur say to you? He goes, he told me he's going to kill me. And I said to him, I go, well, what'd you say back to him? I said, I believe you, Wilbur. I
believe you. Yeah, I love Wilbur Marshall. I thought McMahon deserved to be the MVP of that game. It went to Richard Dent, who had 2 sacks, but I thought McMahon should have gotten it, but Dent got it. Good for him. It catapulted him to the Hall of Fame.
He's not in very good health, is he?
I don't know that, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything bad lately, so but
good.
But great team. Well, I'll never see the Bulls win a championship again, and I'll never see a team like the 85 Bears ever.
What do you make of your wait, you got an emerging star in Chicago right now in baseball.
PCA?
Yeah.
I was on this very show, as many other shows. Check me out at North to North. Not North to North.com. North to North, NORTH, number 2 NORTH. Saying for a month ago, forget about Lumpy. That's my new nickname for Otani. Forget Lumpy, sit stadium. While PCA is hunting down fly balls in 90-degree heat. While PCA is running the bases, stealing. Lumpy is taking a dump in the 5th inning. As a DH, he could go to the bathroom, put cold water in his face. He's not playing every game. Right now, it's PCA who's unreal, but, I'm afraid of a slump. I mean, the pressure on the kid. But he's carrying the team, Dan, and if he went down, the Cubs are screwed. If Otani goes down, the Dodgers got 5-6 other All-Stars, period. It's no biggie, period.
You think the Chicago White Sox are going to make it?
Well, we're all worried. This is why you do the show with me. You want to find out the pulse of us White Sox fans. It's racing. Okay.
Hey, I like the White Sox.
I do too. We know we're in uncharted waters for a team that lost 100 games a year for 3 years in a row, but we're praying that they got enough. That Castillo the other night ended up, folks. You're not going to get. I don't care what station you listen to in Chicago or Philadelphia. It doesn't matter. You're not going to. That's right. Castillo though shut out inning 7 the other night, so they've made some moves. They're in an easy division. I think if they make it, they have a better chance of advancing in the playoffs than if the Cubs make the playoffs, because the Cubs got to go through Atlanta and the Dodgers and the Brewers. See, I can go to each sport, and Dan, don't worry. That's the difference. No. And then we go. I'm telling the one person, but I think the National League's a gauntlet, man. The National League's tough. It's one of the toughest.
I wish the White Sox would go back to those red helmets and that Dick Allen, by the way, look, that Dick, here's my boy, Dick Allen. Dick, by the way, Dick Allen, Phillies.
I got it. That's a signature.
Okay. Dick Allen, Phillies. Dick Allen, Chicago White Sox.
Let me tell you something.
1973 when he won the MVP award.
72
when he won the MVP award.
Well, He carried here.
That guy was spectacular.
You look at the rest of that team. Bill Melton was on the team, not bad.
Yep.
He carried that team though. He had 37 homers, 100 some RBIs. He had runs, 80 up there. But here's the thing: PCA's having that type of year too. He's carrying the Cubs. Now I know Bregman had 3 homers the other night, but he's left about 200 men on base up until the other night. Okay, so let's not Cub fans. Oh, oh my God! Oh, Bregman, finally. Okay, we get it. He had 3 homers. He's left about 200 men on base. That's why we struggle. We're behind Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee's got a tougher schedule than the Cubs, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Mike, what do you make of all going on with the and I keep bringing it up, what do you make of the WNBA and what's going on with those folks? I call it a reality show now,
Me
Mike.
and my buddies.
I can't I can't cover them with any seriousness.
I want to fight 3 women at once. I want to put on the gloves. I've had enough. Nancy Armour. Okay. Joy Reid, although I could lose that one. That would be tough.
Oh.
Yeah. And anybody, Margaret Brennan. Bing bang pow. Because they're never good. Just drop your drawers. If you have the hand-me-downs, you're not in the league. Period. End of story. You can walk around in a dress and say your name's Alois. I'm not buying it. Right. I'm not going there.
Mike, how do you call yourself the WNBA and you don't know what the W means?
They got to get together.
In WNBA, how do you not know what W means?
You know what? I think this is unbelievable, and I can't wait for the season to start. But, Caitlin Clark, God bless her and all this. She's a fabulous basketball player, but there's some hatred out there. But I just got to let everybody know. If you put a dress on.
Wait, Rodman did.
I know. And Dennis was a buddy, and I had no problem with it. But Dennis never said he was a woman. Never.
No.
Because Dennis, believe me, I've seen the women Dennis has been with, okay? All right, so the guy sprayed all fields, all right? And I mean sprayed. But that's beside the point. If you put a dress on, okay, and call yourself Alois, I ain't falling for it. That's all.
Yeah. Mike, Notre Dame, Miami this year. Notre Dame, Miami. You Irishman and me. Well, you're part Paisan too, though. So you got But I'll tell you what a conflict in life you have. You're an Irishman and an Italian.
Some of the great Italian players have played for the new University of Notre Dame, my friend.
Oh, that's correct. That's for damn sure.
You don't want to go there with me.
No, that's right. I know that. I know that.
I mean, we got it. We look.
The only reason I went there because Jerry Fouts was the coach. That's the only reason I didn't go to.
I thought I was going to do good. Look, I never lost at Moeller, so why not give me a shot? Oh my God! You know what? There was a play in the very first. He was like looking, and there was an interception against him. He's like this.
So my recruiting trip, I go there, and he sits me down in front of his desk, and I'm like,
and he was a sweet guy.
Sweet. Oh, by the way, I'm friends with his kid now.
Good guy.
Well, listen. So
don't mean him no harm.
No. Listen. And I went to Catholic high school, as you know, and so I went to Catholic schools my whole life. And so I'm going like, okay, so I guess it was just a foregone conclusion. I was going to Notre Dame. And so I'm sitting there, and he's like, come to Notre Dame, you're probably going to play a little bit, probably your junior year, and you'll probably play your senior year. And I go, well, I want to play right away. And if I'm good enough to play, I should be able to play right away. He goes, this is Notre Dame. I said, Coach, no disrespect, you're 6-5 last year.
Yeah, I love it.
And he goes, well, we're going to be better. We have the top. Back then, they did play a tremendous schedule back. Not like the stuff they play now.
I still think they play.
No, I think their schedule this year is really good.
I do too.
I think it's really good. And
I think every year they have a decent schedule. I don't buy that shit.
Listen. So I'll tell you this. A guy named Lance, who was their offensive line coach, was their offensive line All-American. Mm-hmm. He comes, and I played against him when I got to Miami. He goes, listen, you want to become an All-American? You come to Notre Dame. If you want to win games, we got a little ways to go. And I remember him telling me that. And I said, thanks for telling me that. Well, they brought me in. We started talking a little bit more. Then they go, well, we want to play you at linebacker. And I was like, dude, I had 60 sacks in high school. And I was like, you know who broke my record? Dwight Freeney broke my record in Connecticut.
I loved him. I interviewed Dwight a few times. Good guy.
He broke my record there.
That guy was insane.
A great player. Yeah. And he went to Syracuse.
Yeah.
And so I went
he put him on the map, man.
Yeah.
They've been gone for a while.
And I said, yeah, one more D-end kind of guy. He goes, well, you got to determine. And I go, you know what? I said, yeah, I think we're going somewhere else. And I saw Jerry Fouts the last game when we beat him 58-7. I wasn't very kind. I said, Coach, I thought I wasn't going to play. I'm a sophomore, and I'm kicking your ass.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very cool.
No, I get it. I have no.
And by the way, I loved Era. I loved Era. I love Preseason.
It's a good chip. A chip on your shoulder is a motivator.
Hey,
period.
I loved Coach Preseason.
I love Preseason.
Yeah,
I had him on my show a dozen times. What a sweetheart.
Sweetheart of a guy, and
a great coach.
But
he never lived down to 10-10.
No.
That always was on his tombstone. Was this and that, but that 1-10-10 tie.
That's right.
That hung with him, man. He couldn't shake it.
That's right. He was never going to be higher than Leahy and Rockney, and he really did a great job. Do you like the new guy?
Oh, I love Marvin Freeman. Yeah, Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman. You like him?
Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
What do you think?
I was worried. I was worried at first, like I am with every hire. I wasn't. When they hired Holtz, I was thrilled. When they hired Lou Holtz, I knew they had a good one. And boy, he became better than I ever even imagined. But I like this guy too. And I think they're still bitter about last year. So I think they've been in the weight room and they've been really working their ass off. And then they hear the turf chirping. Miami's always going to be chirping. They got their guys. I mean, my God, Michael Irvin. I see he's back again. He's going to be on Netflix. I'm going to tell you is, all I know is I think I know who Michael Irvin's agent is. And he earns every cent. My God.
Yes, he does.
Are you kidding me? God bless him.
Hey, so here's a Holt story.
I don't want to hear about your big shot Miami Hurricanes.
No.
Stories.
This is a Lou Holtz story. That Lou Holtz, when he was living in Orlando, and I was on the air and the radio, we're playing a round of golf. He lived at Islesworth. Okay, lived on the 8th hole, Notre Dame money. He told me, "Hey, see, I bought this house with Notre Dame money right here, and I got this because it's a great."
I like that,
and I go, Coach, how come you left William and Mary? You said you really loved the place. He goes, that's a really great question. He goes, the only problem that you have at William and Mary is there's too many Marys and not enough Williams. Dude, what a character guy he was.
Great guy. Did a couple shows with him. Great guy.
So, Mike, what do you got on the agenda coming up here this weekend, my friend?
Yeah, well, we got the St. Jude's Classic. I'll be watching Saturday and Sunday. I'll be betting baseball. Check at NORTH, number 2 NORTH, folks, for all that stuff. For my picks daily, I got a good game tonight. I'm taking Cleveland minus the 134 against the San Diego Padres in baseball. But check tomorrow. I have more picks up, and check tonight too also. So it's always a pleasure. The Echo. It's hard waking up. I mean, it was 2 a.m. and my wife, she got startled like this. And she was, what's that? I go, I just had a nightmare. It was an Echo. It was 2 a.m.
Yeah. Mike, you fixed it. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Tell the folks how they can find you also. Or I'll tell you next week. My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, tell the folks how they can find you.
Oh, you just ESPN. I'm up right now. The Odds Couple. We do it. It's our 8th. He's going into our 8th year. Me and Carmen DeFalco. Our podcast is up. We're on tomorrow. I believe we're on after the White Sox game. And then I'm on the Bar Room. Check that out. And then I got Twitter at North to North. So, and I'm also on the Big Sill Show. And that's gold, baby. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mike. I love you to death. Thank you to your
right,
wife for
buddy.
fixing the echo. We'll see you next week.
I love having no echo. By the way, it was fun talking to you last night. I was ready to, I took a nap when I was done.
Thank you, Mike. I
see you
appreciate
later,
it,
buddy.
man. You got it.